It's a word by definition that means going to the furthest end, far beyond where most people live or think. But extremism has increasingly shown up right in our face.
I don't want to play it down. I know these jokes were racist, they were anti-Semitic.
This week we're looking at the impact extremism is having in America.
It took me years to become a full-blown anti-Semite and believe in the conspiracy theories.
How its role in our virtual world is impacting our real lives, and whether the government's plan to address extremism can truly make a difference. This is The Race. For as scary as extremist groups can seem, I've often wondered, and maybe you have as well, how someone could be pulled into a lifestyle that has shown to be so dangerous and cause so much pain. But we've come here just outside of Memphis, Tennessee, because we're on our way to talk to somebody who knows the answer to that firsthand, because he was once a member of a hate group himself. Is that you?
Yeah, that is me. That wasn't me.
It seems like you still feel like there's an emotional reaction that you get when you see it.
Because little disbelief. I still can't believe that. You know what I mean? It's just hard to grow. I don't know.
T.M. Garrett was born in Germany, raised by a single mother who he says suffered from alcoholism. Today, he acknowledges he could have taken a different path that didn't involve hate.
And it started first with anti-Semitic and racist jokes in the schoolyard. It's just very unintentional. I don't want to play it down. I know these jokes were racist, they were anti-Semitic, but not for the sake of hating people. It was for the sake of getting attention. And at the end, I became a Holocaust denier, anti-Semite. I was the leader of a KKK group in Europe. Neo-Nazi skinhead musician, toured all over Europe and in the US.
He says it's been more than 20 years since he was the person in these pictures, but he sees hate groups recruiting young people struggling with life today.
All of a sudden they have these people there, and it seems they're understanding. They're like, oh, we know how you feel, I've been there.
It's why he works to help people leave extremist groups.
It took me years to become a full-blown anti-Semite and believe in the conspiracy theories. If you walk 10 miles into a forest, guess what? It takes you 10 miles to walk out. You know we're recording this, right?
Yo, that's fine.
Yeah.
Romy Munz is a former white supremacist prison gang member. TM has worked with him since he left prison in 2019. TM has helped him find tattoo shops to cover up most of the racist tattoos once on his body. This is video TM gave us of that work being done.
Not only is my past embarrassing, it's not who I am anymore. And when you walk around with that and people look at you, it's like the shame. It's shameful.
TM says covering tattoos is just one part of de-radicalizing the people he works with. Changing views can take months and years.
Just leaving a hate group doesn't make you an anti-racist all of a sudden. You have to not only to get your head out of the hate, you also have to get the hate out of your head.
I asked him how he could expect people to show compassion to those with past beliefs so hurtful. He took me to meet his business partner, Ray Johnson.
Oh my God.
Ray is a former street gang member, now pastor.
Because we had the same similarities of want to see change and help people get out of the former life. Me, former gang, him, former Klansman.
Perhaps an unlikely friendship.
First meeting us and they come is overwhelming.
Ray meets with people TM is helping leave extremist groups.
Seeing people will have the opportunity to see the truth, and whether they choose to stay that way is their choice.
The most effective tool, they say, in the fight against hate is meeting it with humanity.
Open the box, see the human being, have a conversation without blaming, without shaming, without guilt, making clear, I don't like your ideology, but you're a human being. I have no problem with you as a human being.
Here's the reality. Political violence is a real threat facing our country. The Department of Homeland Security has issued bulletins. So has the FBI. For years, this was merely a theoretical debate happening on college campuses, but now there are actual examples, and when you look at them collectively, it can all be quite terrifying.
Take, for instance, this summer after the Supreme Court decision on abortion, a man was arrested with a gun and charged with attempting to kill Justice Brett Kavanaugh near Kavanaugh's home. In July, Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin was attacked by a man at a political rally in New York. This past week, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat, revealed an armed man yelled outside her home in Seattle for over an hour this year. And after the FBI raided former President Donald Trump's residence at Mar-a-Lago, the FBI office in Cincinnati was attacked by a Navy veteran who police say had extremist ties. On Capitol Hill in 2017, there were around 3,900 plus threats against members of Congress, according to police records. Last year, there were over 9,600.
One member of Congress has been especially forthcoming about the threats he is facing.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, one of only 2 Republicans on the January 6th committee, actually posted on Twitter threatening voicemails his office has received.
And I pray, if it be God's will, that you suffer.
We know where you live. We're coming to your house.
Those threats, as well as others, have resulted in taxpayers footing the bill for more security for members of Congress. Typically, only those in senior leadership positions are given protection. In recent weeks, security officials at the Capitol have approved $10,000 worth of security upgrades for the homes of each member of Congress to pay for things like alarms, new doors, or lighting.
Voters are beginning to take these threats seriously, and some recent polling is showing the threat of political violence is driving some voters this election.
In fact, a CBS poll from late August shows that 64% of Americans believe political violence will increase from here. In January of 2021, after the January 6th attack, only 51% of Americans thought that. So the fear is increasing. On Capitol Hill in Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
With the 2022 midterms just 2 months away, dueling speeches from the current and former presidents presented very different priorities to the American people.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
We are the ones trying to save our democracy. Very simple.
During a primetime address, President Joe Biden said Americans must come together to defend our democracy. He said the, quote, MAGA Republicans, who've put their unwavering support behind the former president, are a danger to the nation.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence.
President Biden has stepped up attacks on his predecessor, but he drew a line between Trump and the mainstream Republicans that helped Democrats pass major legislation, like the bipartisan infrastructure law and the bill to boost U.S. semiconductor manufacturing.
Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans.
Former President Donald Trump held a rally in Pennsylvania to support the state's Republican candidates. In the nearly 2-hour speech, Trump called President Biden a, quote, enemy of the state, and again teased another run for the presidency in 2024.
And we're leading Biden and everyone else, including the Republicans, by record numbers in the polls. So I may just have to do it again. You'll be staying tuned.
Trump also continued his attacks on the FBI and Department of Justice for last month's search warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago.
The FBI and the Justice Department have become vicious monsters, controlled by radical left scoundrels, lawyers, and the media who tell them what to do, you people right there, and when to do it.
A more detailed list of the documents seized in that search showed agents removed more than 10,000 unclassified government records that should have been in the custody of the National Archives. Stephanie Liebergen, Washington.
Even though we're in a pretty rural area this week, when it comes to hate speech, you have to think high tech. How a growing number of companies are now using artificial intelligence to find hate speech online. You're watching The Race.